Welcome to The Vinyl Underground, presented by Crowd Control. This is Behind the Decks, your backstage pass to North Carolina's emerging electronic music scene. We're bringing you raw conversations, killer beats, and the untold stories of DJs shaping the underground. Plug in, vibe out, let's go.
To the show, Tommy Jr. coming all the way from DC to visit us.
Hey,
You're one of the guys that I've been following closely on Instagram. I think that's pretty much where you. I don't know even know how you found us. Or was it just a post?
Same, man. I mean, we were doing our podcast with RPG, and so started looking around, seeing you start to see who else is doing those kind of things, especially like at the local level, and
right.
Was like,
and that's what the name of your podcast is.
The Open Decks Podcast. That's right.
Open Decks Podcast. Right.
Part of the concept was, kind of not necessarily an open mic for the podcast, but invite in friends. Like we schedule our guests, whatever. But get a room where we can get 3 or 4 other people in, bring guests in, and then right after that, put on like a 45-minute set, an hour set, depending on where we are.
Yeah.
So we started off doing interviews, and then either live stream to Mixcloud or something like that. It's hard to do that because it takes up a lot of individuals' time, but the concept is still there. We're still breathing life into it, but the Open Decks concept lives beyond just getting a bar and a controller and sign up and spin.
Right.
I like being able to provide people with an opportunity to play on club standard gear, if you will. And like now I'm just getting outdated. Like the 3000Xs are out. Yeah. The A9 is getting a little outdated, but it still gives you, especially newer DJs, the look and feel. It's if you're gonna play in clubs, like you're gonna need to learn to play on club quality gear. And I'm lucky. Like I have a whole backstory about how I came about this stuff, but I could just prop it up at home and play and say like, look at my shiny new toys. But the reality is like, this isn't about me. It's about being able to provide something unique. And the number of people that have come to our Open Decks, 120, 130 plus over the last year and a half, the number of DJs who have touched CDJs for the first time at our events, like it's not a big deal. You're going to figure it out eventually. Yeah. But we opened that door, right? We at least said, hey, like, come on in. Right. And if it's your first time with club standard gear, like we got you. Right. Like, oh, why can't I hear anything? Oh, all I gotta do is turn that up. It's fine. No judgment, low risk.
Right.
And so that's one of the things we try to provide. I've got some other toys like an RMX or something. Just try to get people something different. But like I say, this stuff isn't gonna change your life. But if you want to try it, like come on out. Yeah, I've lived in DC for 20-ish years, and for most of that time had not been really not been involved in the local music scene beyond just being someone who enjoyed live shows. When I first moved there, we had some live jazz places. We had this place called HR 57. It was kind of a bring your own booze. A jam session, a lot of that stuff. A lot of DC's known for jazz history, and then that those things started to disappear. So you go look for something else. Look for the things you can kind of find anywhere. Like you can find bands here and there. You got an iconic club in DC, the 930 Club. So you get a lot of touring headliners there. But as far as electronic music, it really didn't pick up until probably right before the pandemic. I was, just starting to get into electronic music and didn't really know the scene very much then. But once the pandemic happened, then it became, let's get as much time with music as we can. Even we're all stuck indoors. I'm sure the story is familiar to a lot of people. And coming out of the pandemic, then I just had luckily gotten a bar gig and started DJing at a bar. Just started DJing and was like, let's just see where this can go.
Yeah.
and a lot of that stuff was not, I was playing at a bar, like a lot of hip hop, a lot of music that was entertaining, but stuff that I wasn't really into. Like I was into like hip hop in the 90s, right? Like Nas, Biggie, Tupac, that stuff. But new hip hop just doesn't really resonate the same way.
Yeah.
Plus, like I'm sure in a lot of genres, you start playing the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
It gets tiring.
Right.
So while very grateful for the opportunity to spin early on, it was like, I want to get back to DJing for the music that I like. And so that kind of, kicked off this quest within DC to start meeting other DJs who were into house music, into electronic music, exploring more venues, and, cut to, I don't know, 5 years later now. And I'm booked 3 to 4 weekends a month for other events, doing my own events about once a month or so, either with myself or my collective, RPG collective. And yeah, I mean, at this stage, it's really about kind of growth and experimentation and collaboration.
Yeah.
I don't produce my own music. So, I don't have aspirations to produce my own music. I'm in this purely for kind of the, it's a little indulgent, right? But just to kind of enjoy the scene and the music and the variety any way I can. But
so RPG Collective, is that just you and a couple other guys there that you guys throw events and stuff like that?
We do. So there's 4 of us in RPG Collective. It's myself, over by 9. He just changed his moniker from Over 9,000 to Over by 9 this year. Ryan Soho and Catco. And between the 4 of us, we've got a pretty diverse selection of music interests. So like Catco, she does a lot of like club and G house, and she does some open format stuff too. Ryan is techno and house, but the guy just has the perfect personality and fit for a DJ who's like seasoned and been around for a while, but can connect with younger audiences too.
Okay.
And then Carlos, Over by 9, he's, technically speaking and skills wise, just he's fantastic. He's amazing. He was Breaks UKG, a DJ out of Baltimore for a long time, took a hiatus. And coincidentally at this beer pong tournament bar, he stayed late one night and I was spinning house. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? You spinning house? You know this?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we started talking. That's how we connected, and over time developed a relationship and decided to create this collective together.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so basically, you guys are throwing parties around the DC area mostly.
Mostly in and around the DC area. We've done a few in New York City and Brooklyn this year, with another kind of collective or event series called District Apple. A good friend of mine, Joe Vereen, he's lives in New York, and he and I, again, similar to what we've talked about, just in trying to get connected with different local communities, local music communities. Yeah. We said, hey, why not provide an opportunity for DC DJs to spin in New York? And so we've done four events now, our 4th one coming up.
Right.
And RPG Collective has been involved in a couple of those, but I'm, I got my hands in a lot of things, I guess.
Yeah.
From an outsider perspective, I think surprisingly a lot going on in DC, not just music, but in terms of culture, food, etc. And it gets clouded by, some of the political, just the political nature of the city, right? Like it's not a podcast about politics at all, but I mean, it's a barrier to a lot of people. But we've got so many cultures, and that extends to music, right? We've got people from all over the world, right? Intelligent people, creative people, and that really shines through in electronic music, among other places, right? And so we'll get everything like Afro house, like we have a good like Lebanese community, like with like Lebanese DJs.
Really,
I've got a duo from Tunisia,
right?
And then of course, like we've had guys on our podcast who are now like studying in Europe or have studied in Europe recently.
Wow.
And so cultural exchange. We had somebody from Uganda on our podcast. She's from from the US. And
nice.
You get it, right? There's a lot of these connections, these local communities.
It's an international city, man.
Exactly. Like it's so cool how DC fosters that. There are some niche offerings in DC that I think are hard to find in a lot of other places, because you can have a rich community, a vibrant community from maybe a smaller country that has a smaller population in most cities, but DC brings a lot of those people together.
Right.
And so you can create some energy behind something that might seem out of the ordinary in a place like where I'm from in Ohio, right? But in DC, it's like, no, that's normal. We got that. We got that here. We got music from every corner of the world.
Yeah.
Flash has been around, I think it's like 2012. And yeah, I mean, Flash is best known for, not best known, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but it's really known for its sound quality. It's got a great Function One sound system in the main room.
Yeah.
They bring in a lot of, touring international DJs, like house music, some techno, like they got a different series for different genres.
Yeah.
But they, more than that, they have created a community around Flash and around their events. And so, for example, like their Sunday Love series, you have not just music, but you'll have like artists, creatives, food. You'll have a lot of like wellness.
Great.
So you just get a lot more than the music itself.
It's community driven.
But they're also they're also really committed to creating opportunities for local DJs to perform.
Oh, great.
And they have obviously ticketed events upstairs, but they also have the Flash Bar, which is fantastic because the bar itself is free entry. It's where a lot of local DJs play.
Oh.
I was there a few weeks ago for the first time. And so you get to be on the poster, on the flyer, with some pretty big names. And people who are coming in, like everybody comes in through the bar. And so you get this natural like audience and traffic, and
nice.
It stood the test of time, right? In terms of the quality of music, the quality of community,
right?
And it's branched out to they do other events. They've got a Bertha, a new venue. So they're doing incredibly well. And like I said, for them, yes, it's music, but also community is a huge part of it.
So is it right in the proper DC boundary cities?
Yeah, it's in a neighborhood called Shaw, and which is so near Howard University, U Street. But yeah, it's in DC proper. A lot, it's kind of at the end of the U Street corridor where there's a lot of nightlife, a lot of bars, restaurants, clubs. Yeah, I mean, so Flash is a kind of one of those must visit. There's a group called New Androids who has a few venues that
I heard of them.
Yeah, they're again similarly very committed to kind of like raising the profile of local performers, but also they bring in national touring acts, and they've got a lot of variety. They will host, they'll host like tech house, and they'll have like minimal. They'll have like disco. They'll have piano. So they'll do a lot of different stuff, but their clubs are a lot of us kind of aspire to get in line there. New Androids is great. If you want to go like hyper local, like my local, got to put in a plug for Jimmy Valentine's Lonely Hearts Club. This is a dive bar. Like it is a dive bar. We're drinking PBRs.
Nice.
Right? Like,
shout out to the PBR drinkers.
Right? But yeah, absolutely. But they will kind of they've let us come in and say, hey, we got an idea, open decks. We got this new series called the Indie Agenda, which is indie dance focused, and their game. Well, so I mean, people ask about DC, and I kind of made the same comment, but like, so where can I go find good electronic music in DC? And they'll say like Flash and Echo Stage. Like, yeah, no kidding. Like, of course, like Echo Stage is world class. Like, it's a top club in the world, right? Yeah. Think what you want of the DJ mag ratings. Like, it's impressive. It's an awesome club. Right. And then Flash, but you can find those things pretty easily, right? It doesn't just the fact because you can find them doesn't make them any better, worse, or otherwise. They stand alone. Yeah. And so when somebody asks that question, I'm always thinking about places like Jimmy Valentine's or You know, it sucks because some of these places are closing down, but like, you know, what's another good one? Even El Techo, like a little like Mexican joint that has like the rooftop open. They bring in local DJs. There's a lot more of that, you know, and that's what I crave more so than you know the main stage. There are a couple of kind of well-known, better-known groups that put on after parties. It's like, you know, again, like New York everything stays open so late or 24 hours anyway. But yeah, there's a few afters in DC, Afters Math. And then there's some that are kind of more organic, right? They just that one collective or another will put together. There's one actually tonight. I think House Hats is in DC tonight. And then, once again, my friend Joe. Joe Vereen, this is all about you, buddy. Is helping put that after party on tonight. I obviously can't go. I'm here tonight, but
so is it in a particular type of venue like that you know, or is it something like more?
Most of the ones that I know are in venues that we're familiar with. But you know, there's much more out there that's in kind of more renegade style. They're out there too. Yeah, definitely. I tend to play a lot more like mid-tempo, like melodic house, progressive house, organic house, indie dance. So lots of layers, a lot of layering, a lot of long transitions, you know, a little more like, you know, elegance than you know, kind of hard hitting stuff. And some people recoil at that. Like, oh, no,
and you know, like. Yeah, exactly.
Because it shows, right? It's going to show through.
I completely agree.
So
I you know, I mentioned that, you know, I'm comfortable playing techno sets, but you know, I'll play some, you know, like some organic house. You know what I'm trying to say, and some downs, because it's like a flip side to me. I'm like Jekyll and Hyde sometimes. I'm serious, man. It's like I'll get in there and I'll get down and dirty, or I'll just flip it over.
The Jekyll and Hyde with me is less like genre within electronic music than it is like, okay, I've got the electronic genres that I like, and then I've got like 90s alt rock, like Chevelle, AFI, right? Like just like punching the roof of your car. Kind of
yes, I can get with that too, man. You know, on a drive over here, I was listening to some punk rock. I love punk rock, bro. This group right here, I forgot what they're called, man. I Shazammed them because I was like, wait a minute, man, I got to check these guys out.
That's awesome, man.
I'm serious. I love punk rock. They're called the Soledad Brothers. I don't know who they are. And the song's called Burn the Rich.
All right, fair enough. There you go.
Burn the Rich, Joe. Let's do it. No, I'm just saying. But no, punk rock, yo, I love it. I want to go find somebody. Please shout me out. Hit me up on Instagram. Tell me where I can find a punk rock dive bar anywhere in this area, or you know, because that's what I've been looking for the last like 10 years, dude.
Yeah, man. I like the again, like the the yin and yang, or the Jekyll Hyde, whatever. Like, you know, progressive, organic, whatever. Like it just tends to me. It's more of a storytelling genre that you kind of let it evolve and let it develop, and then by the end, people say, "Oh, now I get it." Right? It's not. It's less suspenseful, and then it is more just kind of like leading them through it. Whereas like the alternative rock stuff is more like in your face, right? Angsty.
Yes,
like, and you know, it's they're complete opposites. Total different energy.
It's a whole vibe, different vibe and whatnot.
But no, give me a, you know, like 4-hour booking to just play some like organic house and mid-tempo. So this bar where I got my start doing these hip hop events, they now have 4 different restaurants and bars. You know, one of their places, they host a car show. So shout out Ray's Rendezvous, Cars and Cigars. You know, all kinds of classic cars, muscle cars, like new cars at a McLaren parked right next to me at the booth. But yeah, what do they want? Like Metallica, Grateful Dead, Static X, right? And then you know, they'll say like, "Hey, can you play some hip hop?" All right, cool. Mix all that stuff together, and then that night, after I loaded all my stuff up from the car show, Cars and Cigars, I go to sushi joint. 3 hours, 4 hours of just elegant organic house and stuff. House.
Switched it all up.
Bump up the energy a little bit.
I want to thank you for joining us down here in the podcast,
My
brother.
pleasure. Thanks
and
for
if you
having
want
me,
to tell the audience where they can find you and where to catch you, and give me your social handles.
Sure. Yeah, it's Tommy Jr. OFC on Instagram, and the RPG Collective on Instagram. And then we've got RPG Collective on Mixcloud and Tommy Jr. on Mixcloud and SoundCloud. And yeah, more to come. We're out there. We'll hopefully get back down here soon. And,
we'd love to
and
have
elsewhere
you.
too, man.
Yeah, we'd love to have you
course.
come down. Maybe set something up where you and your team can probably come down.
Would love to bring the team down here. We got some. I am by far the least talented performer in our group. We have some just top tier talent in RPG.
I'd like to maybe I'll come up to you guys.
Talents.
Yeah, maybe let's come to you guys one day and meet the rest of the guys up there and everything. And love to do that. And yeah, that'd be awesome, man. If we can set something up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, thank you guys for joining us on this episode. Again, you can find the Vinyl Underground Podcast on Instagram, on the Vinyl Underground Podcast. You can find us on YouTube, at the Vinyl Underground Podcast there as well. TikTok, look us up on Patreon on the Vinyl Underground Podcast, where we'll be having some exclusive content there to present to you guys. But otherwise, we will see you guys on the next show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And with that, Joe will bring that beat back.
Thanks for listening to the Vinyl Underground. If you love the vibe, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and share. Want to support the scene? Follow us on Instagram at CrowdControlNC and at the Vinyl Underground Podcast and at Tony Technique. Stay underground and we'll catch you next time on the Vinyl Underground.